Jump scares are the bread and butter of horror video games, given that they're an easy way to terrify players totally out of nowhere, even if they also tend to be rather on the cheap side. But jump scares aren't solely confined to the horror genre, and every so often a totally unexpected game will ambush players with a fright they could have never possibly seen coming. These games, regardless of genre, all left players nervous wrecks after a pant-filling jump scare came from a most unexpected place. And so everyone spent the rest of these games totally on edge, waiting for something else to pop out and fright the living bejesus out of them. In most cases, thankfully, this was the single jump scare on offer. For no clear reason other than the devs wanting to toy with unsuspecting players, these games served up pulse-quickening jump scares that nobody saw coming. Needless to say, if you've got a heart condition or are of nervous disposition, stay well away from these 10 games. I'm the not-so-scary Kirsten from WhatCulture, and these are 10 gaming jump scares that freaked you out for no reason. Number 10. The Bear, HITMAN Absolution. Though the Hitman games are fine-tuned exercises in white-knuckle suspense, that's largely confined to the player's attempts to carry out their assassinations as slickly and quietly as possible. But in Hitman Absolution's third mission, Terminus, players who enter a room on the hotel's 8th floor will be greeted by the terrifying and unexpected sight of a gigantic stuffed bear. Because the visual isn't jarringly horrifying enough, the bear even lets out a brief roar accompanied by a tension cord. If you happen to be wearing headphones while encountering the bear, it was most certainly time to go change your underwear. It was also an easy way to ruin a silent assassin run, as the brain-scrambling sight of the bear surely caused many to instinctively discharge their firearm and invite a ton of unwanted attention in the process. Number 9. BOO-YAH, Life is Strange Episode 3 Chaos Theory. The Life is Strange games may deal with heavy, incredibly real subject matter, but aside from a few mildly suspenseful sequences, there's virtually nothing to be scared of. Apart from that totally misplaced jump scare in the first season's 3rd episode, of course. When protagonist Max is heading towards Blackwell Academy at night, her pal Chloe jumps out of nowhere, shouting, "BOO-YAH!" It's completely unexpected and accompanied by a considerable controller rumble, ensuring players will be left sufficiently shaken. Weren't these episodic adventure games meant to be relaxing experiences? Thankfully, it's the only significant jump in the entire first season. Number 8. The Mad Piano, Super Mario 64. The colourful world of Mario is the last place anyone would expect a jump scare, and so this unexpected fright within Big Boo's haunt in Super Mario 64 was tremendously effective. In the room with a seemingly normal looking piano, you might notice a red coin hidden behind the instrument. As you walk over to claim it, the piano will suddenly come to life, chasing after the player with its massive teeth as various loud clanging noises can be heard. There's nothing players can do but run, and regardless of whether you were a kid or an adult when first encountering the possessed piano, it immediately made everyone's pulse skyrocket. Number 7. PROMETHEAN Outer Nowhere, Halo 4. Though the campaigns for the first 3 Halo games all saw players dealing with the terrifying parasitic aliens known as the Flood, they were mercifully absent from the Halo 4's story mode, in turn causing players to let their guard down. But 343 Industries took full advantage of this when the player directly encounters a Promethean for the first time, creating an incredibly startling jump scare as the Promethean falls out of the sky and ambushes the player, even opening up their mask to reveal the gaping skeletal maw underneath. The low shields alarm noise ringing out didn't help make the jump any less stressful either. Number 6. The Dentist, BIOSHOCK. The BIOSHOCK games are fantastically tense in their own ways, though rarely outright scary enough to leave the player truly startled. Yet while many might cite BIOSHOCK Infinite's infamous Boy of Silence jump scares as the series' most unexpectedly terrifying moment, there are equally visceral and even more unpredictable jumps in the original BIOSHOCK. When players enter Painless Dental, the room will begin to fill with a mist, after which the pitter-patter of feet can be heard, and when the mist clears, a corpse will be revealed in the operating chair. Upon investigating the desk in the room, the mist is once again deployed, and when the player turns around after it clears, they'll see a splicer dentist up in their grill, keen to kill them. If you didn't scream, you're lying. Number 5. The KRYPT, Mortal Kombat 10. The Mortal Kombat games are certainly known for their nauseatingly brutal beat-em-up action, but jump scares? Not quite. That all changed with 2015's Mortal Kombat 10, however, which introduced a first-person KRYPT mode, where players could explore various tombs in order to obtain unlockable items. What NetherRealm didn't tell you, however, is that the KRYPT has a few periodic jump scare QuickTime events, in which players will be accosted by a giant wolf jumping in their face, a massive spider trying to eat them, or a skinless corpse diving out of a pool of blood. Gnarly. In addition to the scares themselves, players need to react quickly to emerge from them unscathed by pressing the indicated button, which in a high-stress situation, you'll likely be unable to. Number 4, Mob of the Dead, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Call of Duty franchise isn't exactly reputed for its scares, and even in its much-loved zombies mode, the horror is generally incredibly tepid at best. But in Black Ops 2's Mob of the Dead DLC map, developers Treyarch included a most surprising jump scare that comes totally without warning. When on the roof of the main building, players might notice a fireworks display in the distance, and if they try to get a better look with their sniper rifle, they'll momentarily witness the flash of a sinister-looking face, complete with a high-pitched scream. Despite its brevity, it's pure, unadulterated nightmare fuel. Number 3, Rope Burn, Mirror's Edge. The original Mirror's Edge is a game focused almost entirely on frenetic traversal across rooftops and through buildings, and so few would have expected to be met by even a single jump scare. But in the game's fourth mission, Rope Burn, the player is suddenly stopped by the arrival of the human brick wall that is Travis Ropeburn Burfield, a former wrestler keen to make short work of you. Between Ropeburn's imposing presence and the sudden loud tension chord that rings out, it's the one single moment in the game which might leave you scrambling to press the pause button. Phew. Number 2, Man-Bat, Batman Arkham Knight. The Batman Arkham games are largely concerned with the wish fulfillment of getting to play as the Caped Crusader, where you're the very thing that Gotham's criminals fear, and so there seems to be little reason for players themselves to be scared. Except Batman Arkham Knight flips the script on players if they attempt to grapple onto a building near Miagani Island. There's a semi-random chance they'll encounter the villainous, grotesque Man-Bat, who will screech in Batman's face before taking a swipe at him and disappearing into the night. Given Man-Bat's incredibly discomforting design and the sheer suddenness of his arrival, it's one of the most brilliantly surprising jump scares ever. And better still, there's a chance the jump scare repeats itself later in the game, this time with the Joker showing up to mock the player for being startled. Number 1, Out of the Closet, The Wolf Among Us Episode 1 Faith. Telltale's The Wolf Among Us boasts an episodic adventure game style which suggests a pretty relaxing, chilled-out experience. And while that's mostly the case, there's a sequence in the fantasy series' first episode that's anything but. While investigating a crime scene, players are given the option to open a closet, which will cause Tweedledee to come violently bursting out, kick-starting a chase sequence. Given that the scene leading up to this moment is incredibly quiet and tranquil, the loud crash is extremely jolting. Thankfully, it's the only major jump in the series though.
Look, my son, look at the marvel that I have created. Comics. They called me a fool for trying to put a dead meme onto a t-shirt. A damn bold fool! A damn bold fool with an ass that won't quit. It got quite personal towards the end there. But look who's laughing now! Quiet! Quiet, my son, my ugly son, for my other creation rises. Look at the quality fabric, hand-stitched by blind orphans. The perfect letter spacing calculated so meticulously that Rich Hudson had an erection for months about it. And a colouring so deep that I had to buy the dye off the dark web. Oh, for God's sake, Josh!
Sorry.
Oh, Marvel. Oh no, the beast has grown angry, angered by our drab fashion choices. I am such a fool to think that it wouldn't try to infect us with its perfect design. Quick, we must do something to appease the beast. Why don't we buy one from shop.whatculture.com? Oh. Look, it's already got Scott Nash.
Oh no!
But where can I buy one? Are you kidding me? This is why I don't give you any extra lines. But also at shop.whatculture.com. Quick, let's go and buy one right now. Let's go buy one right now. Right now. Oh, don't you try hard now. You've already lost your bit. Oscar's in the f***ing bin. Ah, there we go. Doesn't that look better? I feel so virile and alive, and it's also fixed your hump. That's actually pretty good. Now, do yourself a favour and act like your mum and spread the love, aka her legs, and buy yourself one of these glorious dead memes on a t-shirt, courtesy of this handsome chap right here. You're very, very welcome.
Cut!
Jesus Christ, mine is so
It's
itchy.
all wet. What?
It stinks. I pissed on yours.
The worst font ever. I want to die.